Hello everyone. In this part of video that is single phase AC, I'm going to discuss some of the important point about the phasor diagram. So most of us thinking that phasor diagram is a difficult thing, but it is not like that. Phasor diagram is a simple representation of the waveforms, or we will compare two phasor only, compare comparison of two phasors. One very important point came in mind: what is the phasor diagram? And because here also we will see phasor can be added or subtracted by using the parallelogram rule also, because it also we will find the resultant of two vector, like this is the resultant of two vector, which is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. Same thing we will also apply for phasor, but why it is called phasor, not a vector? The basic reason, the difference between phasor and because phasor has also a magnitude, phasor has also direction. It can be added as a rule of the vector addition also, but one thing uh, that a phasor does not have: a vector has magnitude, direction, and can be added using vector triangular rule. Vector rule of addition, maybe parallelogram rule, and resultant we are getting using this formula. Resultant can be obtained using this formula. This same thing, all the things are also being done with the phasor also, but the phasor has one major difference. Phasor has also magnitude, direction, and rule of addition. We also following the same rule of addition, also following. So, what is the basic difference between vector and phasor? So, here we see a vector. Suppose if it is a force of 10 Newton, and it is a line in this direction. So, its magnitude will be 10 Newton if time passes. Whatever, suppose if I am seeing at 10 a.m., it is 10 Newton. After 11, it will be also 10 Newton. Its magnitude is not changing with respect to time in vector. But in phasor, what we see, suppose if it is a sine function or cosine function, maybe this is sine function. If it is cosine function, then it will start like this, and its magnitude changes with time. Here its magnitude not changes with time. If it is 10 Newton, it will be 10 Newton. Or here, if you see here, magnitude is 0, here going maximum, then coming again 0, then going maximum in negative direction, then again coming to 0, then again going positive direction. Like way, its magnitude is changing with respect to time. So this is called phasor. Rest all other rules, it is being followed by phasor also. One more difference is for phasor is that if we change if we change its its orientation is changing with respect to time every second. Its orientation is changing, but for the vector, the most important thing is that its orientation should not change. Should not change. For the vector, its orientation should not change. As we see in case of the rotational motion, suppose if it is a, if we talk about angular velocity, this is angle theta, and this time is taken as delta t, and this time this angle is written by delta theta. So angular velocity of it is uh, theta by t, or delta theta by delta t. So it is angular velocity is a vector only if the angle, this angle is very very small, then it is called vector. Because if its angle is very small, if this angle is very small, then the orientation will not change. If this angle is very big, we can take the example of suppose if it this is a example of book. Suppose a b c d, it is a rectangle, suppose like this. If we rotate it by 90 degree, this it will look like this. If we rotate it by 90 degree, a b c d, so here its orientation changes. But if we give a very slight rotation here, its orientation will not change. So that is why for a very small angle, that delta theta, its orientation will not change. So angular velocity, it is a velocity for very a small angle of theta, not big angle. If we take consider big angle, its orientation will be changed. Means whatever we are here, it is breadth. Now at this time it becomes here length. Orientation has been changed. Breadth has gone downside. So in this way, orientation should not change. This orientation makes a difference between phasor and vector. If orientation is changing, then it is called phasor. If orientation is not changed, in case of the 10 Newton force, what I have told, 10 Newton force, its orientation will not change with time. It will be along this direction. So it is called a vector quantity. Now we will see how what are the conditions condition that two phasors can be compared. So first of all, we should understand what type of phasors we are using. So here only in basic electrical engineering, we are using three things only. Maybe it may be voltage, maybe current, or it may be flux. So these three will be represented on phasor diagram. Phasor diagram means it will look like this. It is changing with respect to time. It may be voltage, it may be current, it may be flux also. This is the representation, graphical representation, sinusoidal representation of a phasor quantity. But on polar form, there is another form that we will see how we will represent in the polar form. This is three things which we have to represent on a phasor diagram. So suppose if we have two quantity like voltage, if I consider here, suppose it is 220 sine omega t, and another voltage, suppose this is V1 and this is V2, suppose it is 200 cos omega t. So here we could not here if you want to compare, we could not compare, because here it is a sine function and here it is a cosine function. So we have to make either this function as a cosine or this as a sine. So I'm just converting it in the sine, which we know it is sine pi by 2 minus omega t. We can write this. This is also cos omega t. If we take a minus common from here, so what we get, minus 200 sine omega t minus pi by 2. So now we can see here, these are the two phasors. Here, this angle is omega t, and here omega t minus pi by 2. And its magnitude is minus 200, and its magnitude is 220. So magnitude wise, we can say it is magnitude is 200. So these two quantity we can compare. Now it is in the same form, so we can compare these two quantities. How we can compare these two quantity? So here we see if we talk these two things, lattice magnitude is magnitude, everything is magnitude is always positive. So between these two phasors, we see that this V2 is 90 degree behind. So if I write this equation, like if I take first one as a reference here, V1, so V2 is minus, angle is negative, so it will be in this direction, minus pi by 2, and this is V2. This is called phasor diagram. Phasor diagram. This is called phasor diagram of the V1 and V2. Similar way, if there is a current or current, suppose if I write here a voltage is given as V equal to 220 sine omega t. So this can also be written as 220 angle 0, because here angle is not there. So plus we can write 0. And suppose if I is written as 10 sine omega t plus pi by 3. If it is written like this, suppose it may be plus or minus, but I have taken here it. So this can also be written as 10 angle pi by 3 or 10 angle 60 degree. This can also be written. So if I draw this on the phasor diagram, so just I have, there is a no angle with the V, so I am taking here V reference, and current I is plus 60 degree, means leading with respect to, so we have to draw it on this side. So here this angle is 60 degree, and this is current. This is called also phasor diagram. Phasor diagram. It is also called phasor diagram. Now we will see one example also, so that we could understand more about the phasor diagram. So suppose if it is a current is, suppose some in question it is given that current I1 equal to, let's take an example, for sine 100 pi t plus 30 degree, and I2 is written, one more current I2 equal to 6 sine 100 pi t. It is written. Now in term of time, draw phasor diagram to represent the two phasors. We have to draw phasor diagram to represent two phasors. We have to draw the phasor diagram. Two phasors I1 and I2 is given here, so we have to draw the two phasors using the phasor diagram. So now how we will draw the phasor diagram? Let us, it is a very simple example, just I have drawn to represent. Suppose this is our this is the maximum magnitude of the I1, this is maximum magnitude of the I2, this is IM2, which is equal to 6, and this is IM1, maximum magnitude of I1, and this angle is 30 degree and this angle is 0. It means I1 is 30 degree ahead of I2. Here it is sine and it is sine also. If this is not same sine, we cannot compare. We have first to make them either, suppose if it is cos here, so we have to make it either sine or we have to make it either cosine. Already discussed in the previous in the beginning of this lecture. So these two things are same. So this, if you compare, this is omega t, this if you compare, this is omega t, so omega is here 100 pi, and omega we know that what is omega, 2 pi into f, it is 100 pi, so pi will be cancelled, so frequency will be 50 hertz. So here frequency is 50 hertz. So whatever AC supply in India we are getting, it is in the form of AC and its frequency is 50 hertz. Now we have to draw its phasor diagram. So here in I2, we can also write I2 equal to 6 angle 0, because there is no angle here added. And but I1 is having some angle, so we can write 4 angle 30 degree. It is positive 30 degree. So if I draw it like this is I2, which magnitude is 6, and I1 has leading 30-degree angle, and its magnitude is 4. So this is 30-degree. This is called phasor diagram. This is I1. This is phasor diagram. It is very simple thing. No need to worry about it. Phasor diagram. This is called the phasor diagram of I1 and I2. In next part of the video, I will discuss more about the phasor diagram, as well as I will discuss about the inductive reactance, capacitive reactance, and resonance of the circuit also. So, okay, this is all about the phasor diagram, and one numerical I have also discussed here.